Mindset Game Podcast, and I'm your host, James Roberts. Before we get started with this week's show, first off, let me take this opportunity to welcome back the regular listeners. And if this is your first time listening to the show, I hope you enjoy this episode and decide to subscribe to the show. Today's episode is going to be slightly a bit different. It's going to be a short one with just me. So before we get started with today's episode, I'd like to wish you a happy new year. The people that are local to my area of North Wales possibly may have not seen the video, which is kind of created some controversy among personal trainers in the area because it talked about you shouldn't focus so much on obviously the no pain no gain approach. You shouldn't necessarily look to have DOMs in your training, and the point that I would probably associate more with him would probably be obviously enjoying the exercise, what you do. Obviously, to a certain extent, I do and don't agree with the fact of that no pain, no gain. Obviously, with me being a former athlete, I had no say and no choice as to what my body was put under, because that was the plan. If I wanted to obviously progress, I've got to put the work in. Okay, as a trainer myself now, I will scale that back to some degree, being very dependent on the client at hand. Okay, if that client wants to be pushed into that kind of approach, they've got that mindset that they want to do it, that's fair enough. Whereas with some people, they don't want to be pushed to those extremes of in the worst cases of being sick after sessions. Okay, I would say for me personally, it's not a great approach to follow, because you're putting your body under so much stress all the time, it never actually fully recovers. So I've got no quarrels with you doing it from time to time, but you may want to look at maybe focusing on scaling it back down a little bit and going from there. Obviously this issue he raised of not having DOMs, I think is to a certain extent a little bit ridiculous, because okay, you don't have DOMs for ages, but you need to obviously, as I said in the post, you want to take your body out of your comfort zone. Okay, there's going to be a fine line between what is DOMs obviously for a short period of time, like acute soreness, as opposed to long term. So this kind of the final point that he raised was obviously coming back to enjoying exercise. It's okay, it's kind of putting that notion to a certain extent when you say enjoyment. Okay, you're trained, say for example, I do push you to exhaustion, being ill, but you enjoy that type of training. It's kind of indicative to say, well, that person doesn't enjoy it, but if they're seeing results, they enjoy the training that they're doing, why be so negative towards it? Okay, every form of training is going to be different, so if you enjoy it, I'd say continue with it. Okay, with those extremes, you probably want to look at not doing it too much, obviously looking to take care of your body and things like that. So to come back to that enjoyment factor, you could be at any level. It could be social, you do exercise as a social factor, you're doing it to get goals, what would be some of the other ones? But there's different factors as to why you are enjoying it. So it's kind of questioning posts like that. So what I will do, if you guys want to actually see this video for yourself, what I'll do is I'll try and find it again. I'll definitely try, and I will post it in the group and see what your thoughts are on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on any content you'd like to hear in the future. And before I forget, I would really appreciate it if you would be so kind as to leave a short written review, as it helps to get the podcast more notoriety, and it would be more visible in future to others, and thus helping more people, which my guests and I are all about. Once again, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time for another episode of the Mindset Game Podcast.